Welcome agents. Today I've got a couple of news related things to talk about, like the raid buff, a new basketball mask with Twitch Prime and basketball outfit, a discussion piece on a tweet from Frederick Thylander about 6-piece gear sets, and a little bit more, including a new specialization glitch. Now if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below, subscribe for dedicated Division content, and let's get straight to this. Okay, so since Title Update 4, there's been a few changes which were not revealed as part of the patch notes, and the devs have come out to address a couple of these. Now, two of which I did talk about in my last video, that being the FOV slider on console, which, by the way, is an awesome addition. I really like it. Plus the chem launcher being changed back to the previous one-tap cast rather than the two-tap cast, which, again, is perfect. Now, recently, a lot of people have been talking about other changes, and one of those is a raid buff. Now, a Reddit post by _sense_ outlined the main changes to each encounter. For Boomer, the heal appears to be a lot faster than before. For Dizzy and Ricochet, you can no longer activate the button on the plane when you have a status effect. For Weasel, his special attack appears to have been increased, more damage, that sort of thing. And then for Buddy and Lucy, and this appears to be the main culprit, their healing has been significantly increased, and also you will be downed if you blind fire during Lucy's spin attack now. Now, from what I've heard, Razorback, the final boss, appears to be no different, and actually one of the easiest challenges at this point. I've actually seen a lot of people talking about Buddy and Lucy being significantly harder since Title Update 4. Now, I wanted to mention this because a lot of people have been talking about this being a stealth buff, which might be true, but Ubisoft representative Johan responded saying this: "No intentional changes were made to any of the raid mechanics. We are investigating the changed behaviour that you're reporting as a possible bug." And he went on to say, "I don't have any answers to give at this point. I just wanted to be transparent that the observed changes in behaviour are not intended, and we're investigating potential underlying causes." So what's important to note is that Johan doesn't specifically say this is a bug, but it's being investigated as a suspected bug. Now I think it's highly unlikely this is a bug, because each bug for every activity is different, and I just can't accept that this update caused so many different bugs to so many different encounters that coincidentally makes the raid harder without actually breaking the whole raid and the whole experience. Now I'm speculating here, but I think that some tweaks were probably made, whether they be intentional or not. They got missed out and no one's talking about it. They were meant to make the raid harder. Why? I think it's probably because of the 0.5% who have done speed runs and beat the raid in a very fast time. I don't think the devs expected that to happen, and this is their way of rectifying that. Now, I really hope I'm wrong, because the raid does not need a buff at all. Less than 1% of Xbox players have actually completed the raid. Now, if they did want to create a harder experience, fine. And that would obviously be for those really hardcore players. All they'd have to do is just add adjustable difficulty like every other mission in the game. Now, I do think the raid needs this regardless. I think there needs to be something like this in the game. In its current form, I think the raid is like hard to challenge in mode for most players. There should be 1 or 2 more levels harder and 1 or 2 more levels easier. The chance of getting the best roll gear should be tied to the difficulty level, meaning anyone who beats this raid has a chance of getting, you know, a high roll piece of gear or an exotic or a gear piece, whatever. But obviously it's a much smaller chance if you're playing it on, say, normal or an easy. I would say normal being the easiest level, and it would obviously scale up as you go towards heroic. Anyway, let's move on. Next up, and the official Division 2 Twitter account tweeted this. Now here's what it looks like on, courtesy of @EastwoodIT on Twitter. And personally, I'm not that bothered about this, but for anyone who wants this particular outfit, you can do a free trial of Twitch Prime for 30 days if you don't have Twitch Prime, and claim this gear that if you want. It's worth noting that you can actually wear the mask with the hat, and you can wear sunglasses on, so you can get the full piece if you really want it. Alright, so moving on, and Frederick Thylander tweeted yesterday talking about the current power of gear sets, and you know, we all know that the power of gear sets is pretty bad at this point, and this is what he had to say. "So to all of my Division 2 people who read my tweets, the current power of the gear sets, we can all agree they're a little bit underpowered. If we did nothing to them power-wise, but moved their effects to be a full-piece set instead of 6, how would you feel about that?" Okay, so let me know what you think of Frederick's suggestion in the comments down below. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Why do you love it? Why do you hate it? If you're on the fence, then let me know what you think about it down below, and I'll read through those. Now, when I read this, for some reason, I immediately reminded me of how much I miss the Ninja Bike backpack from The Division. I don't really know why. I just really think that the Ninja Bike backpack was the perfect example of an exotic piece of gear which was worth its exotic title. It was unique, and it was powerful, and it was useful, it was viable. And gear sets are a bit like exotics in the sense that they're unique, they're 6 pieces, there's only a couple different versions of them, and they're meant to be the stuff that you're meant to be farming for. The same way as classified gear worked in the Division 1, it's that piece of gear that you want to get. Now, personally, I don't think this suggestion would make the gear sets any more viable. Would the change make gear sets more viable than they do now? Just for right now? Sure. But I just personally think that this would be a little band-aid on the much bigger problem, and that's being that gear sets are just very, very, very underpowered. Now, with a 4-piece gear set, it still means you're going to lose out on 4 gear talents. Let's take, for example, hard hitting. That would be 40% damage to elites that you'd be losing out. That power is not matched by other gear sets in the game, maybe aside from aces and 8s, but that's still not consistent. All the other gear sets, they just don't match that power. And all the other gear sets, all they do is offer a different way to play the game. But ultimately, people want power. So if you can play a different way and still get the same power, then yeah, of course, that's great, and that's what people want. So for me, this change is not important. What's important is that they actually do something up with the power of these gear sets. And this is not going to change the power of them. It's just going to be a little bit of a change that makes them a little bit more viable, but not enough for you to spec into it. Do you know what I mean? You're still going to run 6-piece, branded gears, branded sets, because that's going to be always better. You're always going to run 4 extra talents over these gear sets because it's just going to always be better. So they need to look at the power of these sets first and then consider what else they can do to make them viable within the actual game as sort of builds. Moving on, and I'm not sure if this will be patched by the time this video goes out, but there appears to be an unintentional bug with the new Gunslinger Exotic Holster allowing you to trade the exotic talent onto another piece of gear. Now, I've seen mixed reports of some people on PC saying, it's been fixed, others saying it absolutely works and then showing it working. My recommendation would be to just not try this. You're probably going to regret it later on down the line if it does get patched. With that said, again, I've seen mixed reports about this exotic holster being farmable, but I wouldn't even try it out because it will get patched if it hasn't already. Next up, and unfortunately I am the bearer of bad news, there is another glitch within the game, this time allowing you to get a crazy amount of specialization ammo. At this moment in time, it does not affect PvP. Now, I'm not going to say how it's done because I really don't need to. It's been reported, there's plenty of videos online, and there's already a lot of posts about this as well on the forums. If you're the sort of person that wants to go ahead and put your account on the line by using this glitch in PvE, then you can go out and find that if you really want to, but I'm not going to be telling you how to do it in this video. Now, this glitch is causing major problems because people are basically going into the raid with 150 demolitionist sort of grenade launcher ammo, absolutely steamrolling the raid and breaking all of the speedrun records set by people who've done it properly without this glitch. So, as I said, this glitch is only affecting all PvE content at this moment in time and not PvP. It will be fixed very soon, and I just highly recommend no one do it because there isn't the chance that the devs will see this and they will just ban your account. Alright, so that's it for today's video. Now, before I go, I want you guys to let me know what you think about Title Update 4. If you want, please don't head on over to my Twitter page where I've made a poll for this question for the next sort of 24 hours. You can say yes, you love it, no, you hate it, or you can be middle of the ground, whatever you want. Leave your comments, and I'd really, really appreciate that. I will be making a Title Update 4 review video in a short while, but I wanted feedback from the community first so I can get a very small look or sample at the overall consensus for this update. Now, my quick synopsis is the game has some very good things, some very bad things, and the bad things are what keeps people not playing the game as much as they did. For me personally, I'm not playing the game as much as I did the Division 1 for these very reasons, and Title Update 4 did little to address the big issues with the game. It added some cool things, some very good quality of life changes, some stuff we all very much wanted, but the big issues still hang over this game, and these issues are the problems that are causing people to not play the game, and these are the ones that need to be addressed as soon as possible. The gunner specialization is cool, but the activities required to get it are bugged, which appears to be the common theme with new stuff added to this game or new updates. There's a lot of bugs still in the game. And that's kind of it for now. I just wanted to kind of give you a little look of what's to come on the channel. Now, if you did watch until the end of this video, thank you very much for all of your support. I do really appreciate every like, comment, all of the new subscribers or your old subscribers. Just general interaction on the channel is awesome, whether it be good, bad, I don't really care. Just your support in general is truly appreciated. And until the next one, epic out.